Hello there and welcome back. Today I'm going to take you on an epic journey into the inner workings of the song Lost in a Starless Aeon by my band Mors Principium Est. I'm going to open the original Cubase file in which I composed and recorded the song. It's quite a simple arrangement this time. There's only one synth, I think, in the whole song. So it's pretty simple, but there's a lot going on still. I can talk for days probably about all the decisions I made in writing the song. I just thought it'd be cool to open this project up again and explore it with you guys. All right, enough talk. Let's open her up and have a look. Sounds so wrong. All right, so here we have the original folder, Skyroads 2. I think there was a Skyroads 1. I don't know what happened to that. Let's see, when did I make this track? Started working on this on the 20th of May 2018. I'll probably give you a bit of background on why it's called Skyroads. Basically, Skyroads was an obscure old DOS game for the PC. I used to play it on my dad's PC when I was about 5 years old. And I just had a nostalgia rush. And this song was just heavily inspired by that game somehow, not necessarily borrowing from the melodies, although the soundtrack was hit or miss, but for the most part it was absolutely brilliant. Some of the melodies, it's just amazing how much they stick with you, and you listen back and you basically want to cry. And I wanted to recreate a similar sound with the guitar, a synthy kind of guitar-y, spacey sound based on the vibes I got from that game. Now, that's why this is called Skyroads. Interestingly enough, the lyrics ended up going in the same direction. It started to be about space. Although it's quite a simple song, it's really effective, and I'll show you why now. I think I was still writing my solo album or finishing up my solo album when I started to write this one. But this is very different. This is very much a song rather than just showing off what I can do on the guitar or how much orchestra I can plug into a song. There's only one synth here, and that's the strings. And I think that crops up on maybe the choruses or a couple of places, but it's a very simple arrangement. As you can see, that's the whole song. I've color-coded it, and I think I've said this in a previous video. A lot of people like to color-code drums. It could be red, bass can be blue, etc., and color-code the instruments. I prefer, when I'm arranging a song, when I'm composing, I like to see the parts. I like to be able to grab a chorus knowing that it's red, for example, and move it to later on in the song. So if we have a look at how many parts are actually in this song, it's really just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the rest are repeating colors. So 6 parts to the song. I'll take you through them now. So this is how it looks on my side. Obviously, Plek in Sweden did a fantastic job mixing and mastering this. I recorded into this session DI guitars. So what you hear back now is not the final amp sound, because it was reamped later. This is actually the Fortin Nameless plugin, which I highly recommend. It is fantastic. So I use that as a reference to play back my DI signal, which is the dry signal of the guitar, which we then reamp later. We play that through an amp, capture it later. Sorry if you know all this, but I thought I'd pitch this to a wider audience. If you want to hear the DI without the amp sim, it sounds like this. So your guitar basically sounds like a banjo going in. I wish we'd kept it like that, actually. Then you put the plug-in on there, and you get that amp sim sound. Obviously later on, I send that over to Plek. He plugs it into an amp, plays what I played. Out comes the amp sound, everyone's happy. Having said that, the lead guitar sound is actually my Axe FX, and that sounds like this with no reverb or delay on it. And I've just chucked on a bit of delay just for the video, really. These chugs. Nice. I'm also using, on bass, a plugin called Parallax, also by Neural, which I highly recommend because it sounds absolutely awesome. I've said in a previous video that the color purple to me is like a high-pitched lead guitar sound, really nice, spacey sound. I don't know what that was. This is the reason this is colored purple. That sort of sound. My synesthesia kicks in, I can hear purple. And that's effectively your intro, this section here. And we're going to a red section. What does that mean? Well, I think it's a fiery old riff. Let's give it a go. Oh yes. Okay, nice and easy, and then that goes back into the same section again, as you can see. So in the demo version, I would just copy paste parts in the writing stage to make sure that everything, there's no point tracking the whole song all the way through if you've got the same part repeating. Copy paste that, we know where we are. I've obviously tracked these parts again for the final album version. Okay, and we go back into that riff. All right, so we've got an intro here, the purple. Then we've got this red riff going on. We've got the intro coming back in, but now it's acting like a verse, effectively. And sometimes I'll do an intro that turns into a chorus. In this case, it's turned into a verse. And we go back to this riff again. And then this next section in orange will be serving as a pre-chorus. And this is the first time that you'll actually hear strings. Quite subtle in the mix, but they're there. Very basic, just chord structures. Oh, nice chord there. Very mournful. And I've got the modulation really far down, so I just want them to be kind of nice and airy. Yeah. Nice little run on the bass here. Okay, and we're going to go into the chorus. Chorus is in green this time, not sure why. That's how I was feeling that day. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the arrangement now. So on this chorus we have just left and right guitar doing the chords. Pretty simple. I'm surprised I didn't do octave chords as well on this bit. That's very unlike me, but there will be a reason for it, I'm sure. And now we have the lead guitar. Just one, straight down the middle. And you can do all kinds of cool things to that later. So you can do stereo delays and doubling and all that. And then I've got a left guitar, pan 30 left. Comes in here and joins as a harmony, just over this section. Guitar right comes in to join it, so you've got a third above harmony, I believe. Let's have a look. So this is the left side. Yep. In this case, the left is playing actually a third below, and the right is the mirror image of the old center guitar. Yeah. Together. Nice. Cool. And I've left quite a lot of room for vocals, as I know there's going to be some heavy vocals on that section. So it's not a crazy, it's a very simple arrangement. There's not much going on at all in this song. Next section. Sort of a pinky purple. Strings come back in. And we have lead lines. Left and right. They sound like this. Nice. Very spacey, you gotta agree, that's quite spacey. Nice. Just has that very spacey feel to it. The whole song, it's like almost like a concept song. We've got this sort of thing where I start on the left and bring in the right. I'm doing this with my hands. I don't know if that's left and that's right. By the time I do this video, it might have flipped it around. So apologize, I do know my left and my rights. So in the way that this came in first, and then you get the harmony, I've done the same here. Left gets introduced first. Now the right is a third above harmony. See what the strings are doing. Again, simple chords. Modulation is right down. to have that lush string sound. And I'm using, I'll let you in on a secret, cinematic strings, which is awesome for this stuff. And I remember that tracking this DI guitar was a pain in the ass. This it's kind of the bouncy rhythm, the offbeat bouncy rhythm of it. It just took forever to get that tight. And again, I should probably mention the fact that I've only double tracked this song, apart from, you'll notice there's just 2 extra things there. So this chord at the end is quad tracked, which is kind of funny. But basically, that is to leave as much room as possible for vocals, which have that really big mid-high range, which is going to take up so much of the song. If I'm writing a solo album, there's no vocals, for example, I can go crazy. I can go ham on the orchestra, crazy amount of synths, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of the sonic spectrum is taken up, and I really don't have much to play with. So I can really add a lot more emphasis to the vocals by just sitting back with the guitars, not having quad track guitars, for example. Only having quad track guitars on sections that absolutely will benefit, like big, powerful chords punching you in the gut. Otherwise, I kind of like the intricacy of a double track guitar. I've changed my ways. I didn't used to just double track, I used to quad track everything. Now I'm realizing in a project with vocals, a project with synths and orchestra, everything, leaving that bit more room, a bit more room for energy from the vocals, it feels better generally in the mix, and then coming in with a quad track where you think it is necessary, big chord sections. The other reason to only double track is the intricacy of the riffs benefit from just having that bit more clarity. Instead of just trying to do 4 of them, you just do 2 really tightly tracked ones, and you can kind of play with a bit more feeling and a bit more style, and it won't clash. Cool, so this section here is effectively that extra section. It's bridging a chorus to the end of the song, but I wouldn't call it necessarily a bridge, it's more like a breakdown. And yeah, I put them in almost everything. A lot of my arrangements are intro, let's say riff 1, riff 2, but they're verse riffs, right? So you've got intro, verse 1 riff, verse 2 riff, and then I'll find a way for it to get back to verse 1, whether there's an extra section or whether it will repeat the intro. Then I'll go verse 1 riff, verse 2 riff, then I'll bridge to the chorus. I'll then do a chorus, and after that chorus there's the spicy bit, there's the spice, there's the extra bit, there's the breakdown. Often the most memorable part of a song can be the breakdown, can be that middle bit, or that 2/3 of the way through after that chorus. Bam. Whoa, what's happening? Something's changing. We're going to put in a new section altogether, spice up the bash. And yeah, this is what this section is. Having a bit of a hoedown. And then after that, I pretty much always will go to a solo, which you can see here, giving away all my trade secrets now. So this section, this sort of more pinky section, going to a solo now. 3 guitars at once there. I'll add this in. This is funny. My friend Taylor from the band Paladin, he has the most outrageous vibrato of any guitarist I know, and this was a homage to him. So there you go, Taylor. Put one in for you, mate. Yeah. You can see, this is how, like, you can actually see the vibrato. He's gonna love me for that. It's so Taylor. Taylor, if you're watching, buddy, I'm coming to get you, boy. I'm coming to get you with your sick vibrato, boy. We have a center line doing this, straight down the middle. And then that kind of carries on down the middle on this bit. Crazy tapping. Nice. And left and right of that, I have this going on. So let's see how that sounds with this. Nice, just like a really chill harmony going on. And I will always, almost always pan lead guitars left and right by 30 if they are just done twice. And then sometimes if I have octave chords going on as well, I'll have the chords obviously hard left and right. I will have octave chords just in, maybe 75 or maybe 50. And then inside that, I'll have like a 30-30 harmony. And then straight down the middle, I'll have something else. And does that again here. Just play that on its own. And I think that's a pick slide. I think I've got my pick on the edge, a very Michael Romeo thing to do. And kind of nice. I love that. That's great. Let's move on. This next red section is that badass riff. Coming back. And that riff really just signifies the end of the breakdown solo section. The spice. The spice is over, all right? We've eaten the spice up. It's kind of like you have a big curry and you just need a drink. You're just like, I just need a drink. I've had enough flavor. Back to normal, don't worry, no more spice. Back to the spicy riff. It's still a spicy riff though, so there is some spice going on, I suppose. All right, and then back into this pre-chorus, which is orange. Strings come back in. And these guys are just kind of doing octave chords again. That kind of mournful sound with the rhythm guitar. It's a melody in itself, even though it's kind of just sounds like chords, but it's there. The melody's there. Into the chorus. With that iconic melody going on. Nice and simple, stripped back. Left guitar comes in. Right guitar joins. You can hear on this chorus the angle of my pick is so on the edge. My thumb is so close to the edge. I'm kind of quarter/half pinching these notes. And I do that pretty much throughout that chorus line. They're not really full pinches, but they're kind of halfway there, and that creates that really nice snarl sound. Yeah. Cool. And then we go back to the kind of purpley section, bluey purpley, to play the intro again. Split left and right by 30 for the harmony. One last time with the badass riff. And then, just for added sludge and effect, I've emboldened that last chord by dropping in a couple of others. So you've just got a quad track on the last chord. Why not? Sounds mean. Nice. All right, well, that's it. That's how simple that song really is. So there's only really 6 parts. There's the intro, which serves as a verse as well. You've got the red riff of doom, which sounds great wherever you put it. You've got a pre-chorus and a chorus with a really nice melody. And then you've got the spicy bash in the middle, a solo, and back to the riff, pre-chorus, chorus, and then intro, outro kind of thing. And that's it. That's the song. So thanks very much, guys. That's it for this one. And tune in next time. I'll take you through another one next time. Next time we do this, I'm going to take you through one It's got a hell of a lot more going on in the synth department. We'll talk a bit more about synths and VSTs and all the rest of it. If you do have any questions about how I composed or arranged this, please comment below. I'll tell you as much info as I can, and I'll see you then. Cheers.